Hi everyone, welcome back to Vegan Rock Climbing. My name is Manny, and in this episode I'll show you some simple, easy to apply tricks which will speed up your cooking with a special focus on how to use a knife properly when chopping vegetables. This is probably the only thing vegans can learn from Jamie Oliver, so yes, try to avoid his ingredients, especially his animal products and oil and salt and stuff, but also try to acquire his knife skills. I'll start off with some simple tips which, so to say, just help to let things flow better in the kitchen, at least in my experience. Tip number 1 would be use a sharp knife. If yours is blunt already, then don't be lazy, get a sharpener or however this thing is called and sharpen it. You saw how it's done in the intro, it really makes a huge difference. Number 2, get a nice, large, solid, heavy wooden chopping board, which doesn't slip around while working on it. Luckily, we are vegan, so we don't need to use a plastic board or something like that. Number 3, place your waste bin directly below your working space. This way you just need to wipe over your board to get rid of any residual plant parts you don't want to have in your end product. And number 4, place the pot in which you want to cook the chopped up veggies directly beside your chopping board. This way you can easily throw the finished pieces in. Okay, that's it for now. Let's get started, I would say. I'll just go through each particular vegetable so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, let's start with the carrot, the basics. Well, first, cut off the ends. Zack, in the bin. And basically, if you want to cut something like this in half, then you take it just with your whole hand, with all your fingers, and move the knife in between your fingers, okay? This way you won't cut yourself. So just move like that, and cut in half. Cut one more time, just like that, same way. Okay, next step is we want to have small pieces, right? And always if you have something long like this and you want to chop it up, it's the same with zucchini and other stuff, you use your knuckle of your middle finger as a guide, okay? So you start here and you always chop like this, okay? Thumb is behind your wrist. Most of the people cut like this, they use the thumb as a guide, but then they often cut themselves in the thumb. So what we are doing is we use our middle finger as a guide, and this knuckle here will stop our knife from going upwards, okay? Too far upwards. And our finger is here, you can see, it's inclined a little bit. So not like this, because then we will cut ourselves again. But it is inclined, and we only use the knuckle as a guide. So let's try this out. Okay, and as we are proceeding forward, we just go with our fingers closer to the thumb, and when we reach the thumb, we'll step one step behind, and then tuck, 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 just like that. Okay, that's basically how it's done. Okay, one more time from a slightly other perspective so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Carrot, hands off, in the bin, cut in half, like that. Also something which you have to keep in mind. If something is wobbly like that, okay, it's very inconvenient to cut it like this, because then your fingers are wobbling around. In case of this carrot here, always place it on the stable end and cut like this, okay? So again, half and placing thumb behind, middle finger in front, knuckle as a guide, and there we go. Okay, so now if you're a little bit more advanced, you of course can apply this system to more carrots than one, okay? hands off, just like that, into the bin, and cut in half, okay, and then you can also take more than 1 carrot, yeah, just need to keep in mind that you take all of these carrots at once, so that you have to spread your fingers a little bit more, but basically okay, you can do this with more carrots at once, and here it becomes important that your knife is sharp, because if your knife is blunt you will have a hard time doing this, okay? But as I have a sharp knife, I can go pretty much through all of these carrots at once, right? Again, take it and into the pot. Okay, let's move on to the zucchini. We can basically apply the same principle as we had with the carrots on the zucchini. I like the zucchini especially because it's a very soft vegetable, and if you have a sharp knife you can really go through it really fast. And if you want to practice some speed, zucchini is the perfect vegetable to practice that. My favorite way of cutting it is just cutting off the ends. I'll show you some alternative later. And yeah, basically applying the same principle as before. Take it like that, cut it in the middle, take it one more time, cut it in the middle, place it like that, and okay, super simple, super fast, super soft vegetable. Okay, same thing again, other perspective. Place the zucchini like that. Fingers in front, thumb behind. There we go. Okay, easy done. Take it into the pot. Okay, a little trick that you can do with the zucchini is you just cut off one end and then you determine how much you need and then cut like this. Cut some slices into this zucchini, okay? Just depending on how big you want your pieces. I make a few slices now. Don't bother too much. And you have something like this, okay? So if you want, this is special, very practical if you want very small pieces. Now again, same principle. Okay, pretty easy. So what you now saw was also that I cut very fast, and when I cut very fast, you're basically throwing your pieces around, and also some will be thrown on the floor, and so you can prevent that by not cutting fully like in this direction, but turning a little bit to the wall, so that even when the pieces are falling to the side, they still land on your board and not on the floor. Okay? Again, take it into the pot. The disadvantage of cutting it that way is that you, what I talked about before, you have to cut with a wobbly thing, okay? So what you can do to prevent that, I mean in the zucchini that's not much of a problem, because the zucchini is, although it's wobbly, it's very easy to handle, okay? But some vegetables are a bit tricky. So what you can do to prevent that is you cut one slice off. Now you have a stable zucchini. Now you make the same trick as before, okay? Depending on your piece size, and one more time. Now we are going to the right direction so that our pieces don't fly around. goes into the bin. Okay, what's next? I think we take a look at this potato here. First, of course, you want to peel it. Don't be very accurate, just take everything into the bin, easy as that. Okay, a bit ugly here, so we cut that off. Looks good. Alright, so basically what we have here is the same as a zucchini or a carrot, only bigger, and with a little bit of difference regarding the surface, because this is wet and sloppy. Yeah. So what you can do to increase the stability, as we said before, just cut one slice off, and now you're stable here. Okay, you can cut conveniently here, and so that we can make smaller pieces, I would prefer to cut it in half once, and then again. We'll do here our segments. We are stable. And this way you get nice, beautiful cubes. Okay, same thing, different angle. Just let's get rid of this peeler here. Another thing. Everything that's in the way, okay? Just get it out of the way. You want to have a full free working space for chopping. Alright. Here, potato, cut one slice off, make it stable, make your segments, and thumb behind, fingers in front, one more time. Okay, beautiful slices, beautiful cubes. Okay, let's chop up the onion. It's a little bit more tricky, I would say. What I always do is I cut off this end, bin, and what I'm doing now is I only cut the really dirty root off. Okay, just the very outer part of the root, which is dirty, and you basically peel it. Going hard, and you can also cut it in half before that. You can easily peel it. And what we are now using is that this root holds together the rest of the onion, right? And that's pretty practical, because now we can just use this trick. We take the onion, cut it, but we are not going all the way through, okay? We're just going like this. Right before the root end comes, okay? We don't go all the way through. Of course, you can here regulate how big your pieces are going to be, okay? And what you get is still a whole onion, but you have these slices in. And you let it like this until you are done with every other onion that you want to chop as well, okay? You just let it like that, and here I do the same thing. I want to chop this onion as well. I do my slices. I let it like that. If I would have still other onions to chop, then I would proceed until I am at this step, okay? The reason for this is because when we would chop up our onion in the next step already, then we would have lying around a lot of chopped onion here, and as we know, the onion, you know, the oils and stuff, you know, you start to cry and stuff like that. And to prevent that, we can let them in this state. Here they don't lose all that oil and stuff, they're not so sharp here. And basically, yeah, when all the onions are in this state, then we proceed with the next step. And that's what we are doing now. Again, thumb behind, fingers in front. Here we have our onion. As you can see, these are the slices, right? Just take it, very stable like that. Thumb behind, fingers in front. Easy done. Okay, next thing. more complicated here, especially if you want to use the stem as well, which I really would recommend you to do because the stem tastes awesome and it's just a pity to throw that away. So if you have a broccoli like this, what am I doing? Just cut off the end. It's usually a little bit dirty. Then just take it like that, and when you take a closer look at the stem, you can see that it has some kind of lines where you can easily peel it, okay? And that's what we are doing now. Just take it like that, cut, 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 cut. It was actually not so practical down here for me. If they don't fall off right away, just cut here, here. Okay, easy done. And into the bin. Then you can just take the broccoli and do the same thing as before, basically. Then of course you can move further depending on how big you want your pieces to be, and sometimes just by the nature of this vegetable, the flowers are going to fall off independently. Alright, that's pretty practical, because then we have also our single flowers, just like that, okay? And if you want to have even smaller pieces like that, just as before, take them, fingers, left, right, and the knife in the middle, knife in between, okay? Easy done. And if you have, let's say you have longer flowers, okay, you don't want the whole stem to be so big here, then just take it one more time, okay, and get rid of it. Again, collect the pieces and into the pot. Okay, next thing, tomatoes. I always proceed like this. I try to get rid of this plant part here. In. Then what you can do, again, to stabilize the whole thing, another thing about tomatoes first. Tomatoes are really easy to cut when you have a sharp knife. Okay, sorry, got interrupted. Okay, tomatoes, very diverse, really dependent on what you want, okay, what you need. What is always important for tomatoes is that you have a sharp knife, because only a sharp knife will go nicely through this skin, okay? It's a very, very hard skin, very hard to cut. So if you want wheels, very challenging because it's, as you know, quite wobbly, but you can do the same thing as we did before. Fingers up, thumb behind, and okay, nice wheels like that. If you want, let's say, cubes, then you can do the same thing as we did with the potatoes. Just cut it like that, and again, beautiful cubes here. All right. Correct everything and the pot. Okay, let's proceed right there with the paprika. As you can see, actually what is quite tricky about it, so to say, is to separate the inner part from the outer well-tasting part, okay? And to do so, we can analyze the paprika from the outside, and then we see that we have here, okay, here's one axis, here's another axis, and here is probably the third one. There are always three, I guess, in my reckoning, but I'm not sure. And what we do is we take our knife and cut just here in a 90-degree angle into this axis, okay? Because if we do so, we not only cut the outer thing of the vegetable, but we also at the same time separate it from this soft white inner stuff we don't want to have in our product, okay? So let's try this out. You see that? Here is the white stuff that we don't want, and it's mostly still on the vegetable. And so we proceed with the same axis here. Yeah, and then you can see you have here a nicely separated piece with no connections to white stuff. You can just cut that one off as well. And then you see here, where is the third axis here actually. Get that one off as well. And here, the not connected stuff. And the bottom, and that's it. That's how you easily chop the paprika. And now again, it depends on what you need, okay? If you need stripes, just like that, as we said before, okay? Take it with your whole hand, knife in between, and slice apart. So when you have your stripes and you want your cubes, again, like always, just make sure that you have a sharp knife, because here again you have a very tough skin of the vegetable to go through. Collect it into the pot. Okay, next I'll try to chop up the pumpkin, process the pumpkin, so to say. You can see it doesn't look very pretty anymore at the outside, so I'll just try to get rid of this very outer ring, which is quite challenging. Why? Because it's wobbly and that is hard to handle. In the bin. And what I'm doing now to get rid of these kernels, okay? Take a spoon. Small spoons work better in my experience. Easy done, okay? Spoon, kernel removed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Because we are lucky we have here a Hokkaido pumpkin. So you don't have to peel those, right? Normally you have to peel the pumpkins because the skin is a little bit too woody for consumption. Get rid of unnecessary stuff. And then again, okay, depends on what you need most. Me, I only actually need cubes from a pumpkin. And that's why I go like this. Okay, so then I have my slices. And then again, there it's probably advisable not to make this method, because then you lose your outer parts. Just take the whole thing, take care of your thumb, and then cut at once. Okay. When you proceed closer to the end, give your hand away and just from above, okay? Just don't get cut. Okay, so let's take a look at our finished veg pot. That looks awesome. Don't worry guys, there will be no veggies wasted here. I will use this as a staple for vegetable rice and noodles and all kinds of stuff. Of course, vegan and low fat, high carb. Alright. Well, that's it for this long video. I hope you got something out of it which you didn't know already. Keep in mind that when preparing high carb, low fat vegan meals, the chopping is often the speed limiting working step. And small changes in technique can make a big difference over time. I don't know how you handle it, but I cook at least one time per day. And if you can save a little time per day, it's going to sum up. Another cool thing is that when you feel more like a pro while chopping, chances are that you will have fun while preparing your meals, which increases the chance that you will cook for yourself, which means that you won't lose track and smash in some high-fat, high-salt vegan junk food. Apart from that, good technique means less injury, and a cut in a finger is pretty annoying for a climber. Anyway, thanks for watching, especially if you watched the whole video through. Thanks a lot. If not, no problem. See you next time.